All right, everybody, welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're going to be tackling a real classic,
Yeah.
How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie.
Mm.
And, I think we've all heard of this book, seen it around,
Yeah.
maybe even skimmed a couple pages.
For sure.
But we've got a great book review here, and it gives this book a 5 out of 5.
Wow.
And we're going to be diving in to see exactly why a book about communication from 1936 is still so popular.
Right, because you would think that something that, like almost a century old, when
Yeah.
it comes to communication and how we interact with each other,
Right.
you'd think it'd be completely outdated.
Yeah.
But the principles in this book, I gotta say, they're surprisingly,
Yeah.
timeless.
Yeah, and I think part of the reason why it's so popular is because it really promises to give you the skills
Right.
to deal with people effectively,
Mm-hmm.
to build goodwill, and to get people on board with your way of thinking.
Oh, yeah, and those are pretty essential
Yeah.
for success, I think, in any area of life, right?
Yeah, and I think that's why this book review gave it a 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Because it's got to be onto something.
Yeah, definitely.
So what is it about this book that makes it stand out even almost a century later?
Well, I think one of the things that makes it really stand out is just Carnegie's writing style.
Okay.
He's very engaging, and he uses a
Yeah.
lot of real-world examples,
Okay.
and so it makes the content very relatable and applicable, right?
Yeah, no, totally.
It's not just some dry textbook.
Yeah.
It's actually oh, I could see how this would work in my own life.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so can you give me a specific example
Sure.
of a technique or principle that people listening today
Yeah.
can actually use?
Yeah, so one of the big things that Carnegie emphasizes
Mhm.
is the importance of active listening.
Okay.
So really paying attention to what someone's saying to you,
Mhm.
reflecting back what they say
Okay.
to make sure that you understand.
Yeah.
And also just expressing sincere appreciation for others.
Okay.
And this, these are not just tricks. It's really about understanding human nature.
Right.
People crave genuine connection.
Yeah.
So when you actually make an effort to listen to them,
Yeah.
to show them that you care,
Yeah.
you're building a foundation for a stronger relationship, right?
Yeah, that makes sense, but doesn't it all sound a bit manipulative? I mean, isn't it just
Yeah. So some people, they do criticize the book for being overly formulaic, right? It's just giving you a bunch of tricks to
Yeah.
manipulate people, right?
Yeah.
But I think if you look at the book's enduring popularity
Yeah.
and the fact that even people like Warren Buffett,
Right.
credit it with shaping their success,
Yeah.
clearly there's something more to it, right?
Totally. And I think what we were talking about before,
Mm-hmm.
it's about the human element, right?
Yeah.
It's about understanding what people actually want.
Right.
What they crave. And I think especially today,
Yeah.
in today's world,
Totally.
so much of our communication is superficial, right?
Yeah, it's all online.
It's all online.
Yeah.
There's no actual deep connection.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why this book is still so appealing to people,
It reminds us of the importance of those basic human interactions.
Yeah.
Of taking the time to connect with people on a deeper level.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think,
Yeah.
no matter how much technology advances,
Right.
is always going to be valuable.
Absolutely. Yeah. So to kind of wrap things up here, How to Win Friends and Influence People, it's a classic for a reason.
Yeah.
And I think the principles that it lays out,
Yeah.
they're not like a magic formula for every situation,
Right.
but they're definitely valuable insights into human interaction. It's about putting in the effort
Yeah.
to cultivate those meaningful relationships.
Exactly.
It's about understanding people
Mm-hmm.
and connecting with them on a genuine level.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what I think makes it so powerful.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, it's not about manipulating people. It's about
Right.
building those real connections.
Yeah, it's about mutual benefit, right?
Yeah.
Both people feeling like they gained something from the interaction.
Absolutely. And so it leaves us with this question, right?
Mm-hmm.
If these principles are so effective, they're so straightforward,
Mm-hmm.
they're laid out in this book,
Yeah.
why don't we see more people actually using them?
Right.
That's something to think about.
Definitely.
That's all the time we have for today's deep dive,
Mm-hmm.
but keep that question in mind.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time.
See ya.